Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I tell you, when you are trying to eat right and be a little healthier, your sweet tooth will run wild. And today I have decided I've got to have something sweet and I'm wanting some cinnamon rolls. So we're going to make some scratch-made cinnamon rolls, and then we're going to step it up a notch because we're going to be baking them on the Traeger. It gives it a whole other level of deliciousness. So let's go ahead and get started because this is kind of a lengthy process, but it's worth it in the end, trust me. So. Alright, let's get started with our dough. Now, I pulled out the KitchenAid today, as you can see, to do all my heavy lifting. It's going to make my life a whole lot easier, but you can do this by hand. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get 3/4 of a cup of milk, and we're going to just slightly warm it up. We want it to get to around 110 degrees. We're going to add our yeast to that. So I'm just taking this milk and I'm just going to pop it in the microwave. Run it about 30 to 45 seconds. We don't want it to get too hot. Alright, after about 45 seconds, we are running right at 109 or 110, so perfect. We just want it warm enough to help with the yeast, but not hot enough to kill it. I'm going to add that warm milk into my mixer bowl, and then we're going to add our yeast. So I'm going to be using just one of these 1/4 ounce packets. This is the Rapid Rise yeast. We're going to add that right on in there. Alright, so we've got our milk and yeast mixture. Now we're going to add a 1/4 cup of white sugar. Alright, then we got 2 eggs here. I'm going to add 1 whole egg and then 1 just the yolk. And then we're going to need a 1/4 cup of butter. I'm using salted butter, and we're going to melt that down. So I'm going to stick it into the microwave. Alright, so I'm going to stick this into the microwave just to melt it down right quick. And we're going to add that melted butter right on top of everything. Give that a good stir just to get everything mixed together. Alright, now we've got that all mixed together really well. We're going to be adding some bread flour. This is different from just like regular all-purpose, and we're going to use about 3 cups. Sifting this is a really good idea, but honestly I'm kind of in a hurry today. I need to get this done. So that's 3 cups of that bread flour into the mixture, and then we're going to do about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Just going to do that by eye. Then we're going to use a wooden spoon, and we're going to just kind of get the mixture started, and then we're going to put it onto the KitchenAid for all the heavy lifting. It's going to be crumbly at first, which is fine. That's normal. It's what it's supposed to look like. But pretty much once you get it, if you can see there, once you get it to the point to where there's no dry ingredients just sitting in the bowl, you're good to go. We're going to put this on the KitchenAid with the dough hook, and we're going to let it go for probably about 8 minutes or so and let this bring this dough together. Alright, it has been 8 minutes and the KitchenAid is done, and let me tell you how thankful I am to have this thing. Now if you don't have a stand mixer, that's completely fine. You can knead the dough for 8 to 10 minutes, but it's not arm day for me, so I'm so glad I had this. It's formed into a nice consistent dough. And we're going to transfer this into a clean bowl. We're going to spray it down with some olive oil. Transfer that dough ball right on over the bowl. Alright, covering it with plastic wrap and a warm towel. And then we're going to wait about 1.5 hours. We want this to double in size at least. So As you can see, my plastic wrap box is busted. And then we're gonna take our warm towel here and cover right over top of that. We're gonna set it to the side and come back in about an hour and a half, and then we're gonna start building this thing together. So I'll see you guys just here in a little bit. All right, we are back, and it has been right at an hour and a half. So let's take a look and see what we have going on here. Oh yeah. As you can see there, I'm gonna do one of Chase's things and come around the counter. We have definitely doubled in size. Looks great. Alright, so we are going to flour our countertop here. Hopefully this is going to come out clean. I did grease this ahead of time. Oh yeah. Now this dough is going to have to rise twice. So that's why I said it is somewhat of a more involved recipe. But it's so worth it. It's so much better than the canned stuff. So we're going to just start rolling this out. We're going to try to make a rectangle. About 9 inches by 14 to 16 inches or so. If anybody saw my pizza dough video, I'm not the best at this, but you know, I do give it a fair try. Alright, it's not too bad there. It's rectangle-ish. Close enough, and it's pretty consistent. Oh, 1/4 inch thick all the way across. So now we're going to start putting our filling into this. So I've got some butter, softened up some. I still want it to be solid. Don't want it to be melted, just soft enough to just start smearing. And you don't want to go all the way to the edge. You don't want it to go all the way to the edge on 3 sides. It can go all the way on 1 side. Now we're going to take some cinnamon, and this does not have a shaker, I just realized. So I'm going to very carefully sprinkle cinnamon all over the buttered parts. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. And then we're going to go in with some brown sugar. Sprinkle it, just again keeping everything from the very, very edge. Alright, and then once you have your cinnamon and your sugar to the level you want, you're going to take and you're going to now press it down into that butter. We're going to turn this baby on its side. Maybe I should have done this in the first place, but you know. And I'm going to start with the end that all the toppings came all the way to the edge, and we're going to start creating just a little lip of dough there. And then we're going to just start rolling it up, and we want this pretty tight. We don't want this to be loose and falling apart. Alright, and then when you get to this end here, just make sure you keep that on the bottom. Alright, so we're going to start on this end. Actually, you know what? We'll put this liner under here so I don't ruin our countertop. Now I'm going to start slicing about inch wide strips. That first one's kind of a dud. And you want to slice just thin little amount till you see that cinnamon and butter swirl, which I see it now. So we're going to go about 1 inch and cut another inch. Okay, we've got our scrap pieces there, and it looks like we've got 10 cinnamon rolls. So now I'm going to put them into an aluminum pan. I have my spray somewhere. I always think I'm so prepared for a video, and then I end up forgetting a million things. Alright, so just spray our pan down. Now we are going to place our cinnamon rolls into our pan. Bring y'all in for a closer look. Don't those look good? I cannot wait. Going with my busted plastic wrap here. And then cover it back up with the towel again. And we're gonna let this sit for 45 minutes. Okay, we are back. It has been about 50 minutes at this point, 45 to 50 minutes. I have not peeked yet, but I'm very curious to see how much these have risen for our second rise. So let's go ahead and take a look together. That's why I'm standing up here, so that I could. Oh wow, those look good. Oh, and that's perfect. The 10 pieces turned out perfect. Look how pretty. All right, so we are ready. Let me get around here. We are ready to go take these to the Traeger. I'm gonna have them 350 degrees. We're gonna go for about 20 minutes or so, and then we will go from there. Now, I'm so excited, and these already smell good, and they haven't even got the heat on them yet. So let's go ahead and get these out in the Traeger so I don't have to be any more impatient than I've already been. This has already been almost a 3-hour process. I'm ready for some cinnamon rolls. While the cinnamon rolls are on the Traeger, we're gonna go ahead and make up a homemade icing. This recipe is really, really easy, and I'm gonna do it by hand with just a whisk. First things first, we're gonna take our butter. This is softened. We're just gonna add it right on in here. Smush it down. All right, now that I've got my butter pretty smooth, I'm gonna add in my softened cream cheese. It's very, very important that this is softened. If your cream cheese is not fully softened, if it is the slightest bit cold, it will not go smooth. It will be chunky. So very important. So now we're gonna add in our cream cheese, and we're gonna mix that really, really good with our butter. Now we're gonna add some vanilla. I just eyeball this. You can add whatever you like. I'm using the Mexican vanilla. Probably about a teaspoon is what I'm adding. So now we've got our base. We've got our butter, our cream cheese, and our vanilla. Now we're gonna start adding sugar, and we're gonna do this a little bit at a time because we're going for a certain consistency with this, not necessarily a certain measurement. I'm gonna be adding this probably about 1/2 cup increments at a time and get that fully incorporated, and then add you another 1/2 cup or so. We're getting pretty close after just the first cup. I'm gonna go just a little bit more, maybe about 1/4 cup more. We just got our cinnamon rolls off of the Traeger. These smell divine. Like, these smell amazing. All right, we're gonna go ahead while they're hot and get our icing on there. So I'm just gonna take, scoop and spread, and this will melt. Not to mention, these look so pretty. Like, I'm so proud of myself. It's like, who needs Cinnabon? Do it at home. All right, I did not use quite all of what I made, so you've got some extra. You can put that on whatever you want to. It's good stuff. So I'm gonna let these sit for a second and let that icing melt and let them cool down enough to where I can taste them. Oh, finally, I'm so excited. All right, I will be back in just a minute. Y'all, it is finally that time I get to enjoy my hard work. Oh my gosh. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be worth every bit of it. Sometimes you just have to put in the extra effort. It makes all the difference. So we're gonna get into this thing. And oh, look how soft. It's gonna have just that little bit of that smoky flavor, just to give it some depth. Oh gosh. All right, enough talking. Let's get in here. That cream cheese icing pairs so well with just that hint of smoke that you get. Like, you wouldn't think that that would be the flavor profile that you would want, but it takes this from just an ordinary cinnamon roll to like next tier. Like, it's up here. And you got that really soft dough with that cinnamon sugar. Oh, you guys have to try this. If you want to do something special for somebody, or if you're just wanting to go that extra mile for like a breakfast or something like that, these all day long. These, I can't even describe how good these are. 110% worth the effort. All right, you guys give it a try. Let me know in the comments below. Try not to talk my mouth full. But let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of them. And if y'all have any kind of variations. I've thought about doing a couple different variations just to see what happens. One of them being, instead of cinnamon sugar, doing like a raspberry swirl or something along those lines. Sounds amazing in theory. We might have to give that a go one day. But y'all, you're gonna have to give it a try. So I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on Monday.